Before you buy a freight broker course or any freight broker training, I want you to watch this video first. And yes, I sell freight broker training, so you might think I'm going to tell you to buy mine, right? But that's not what this video is all about. The truth is, a freight broker course or freight broker training can be a great investment, but only if you buy the right course for the right reason at the right stage. Some people need help getting licensed. Some people need help understanding how the business works. Some people already have their authority but can't get shippers. And some people are in limbo because they're trying to decide if freight brokerage is even right for them. Before I get into this, drop a comment below and tell me where you are right now. Just researching, getting licensed, already licensed, or trying to find shippers. That helps me to understand who's watching, and it also helps me create better videos for you in the future. So in this video, I'm going to show you what to look for, what to avoid, and how to decide whether a freight broker course actually makes sense for you. Because the goal is not to find the cheapest course. The goal is to find the course that helps you get started the right way. Now, most people start looking for a freight broker training program because they're overwhelmed. Freight brokerage sounds simple on the surface. You help shippers move freight, you find carriers who haul freight, you make the money on the difference. That part's simple. But once you start digging in, you realize there are more moving parts than you may have anticipated. You need to understand licensing. You need to understand the bond requirement, business setup, paperwork, agreements, rate confirmations, carrier setup, quoting freight, finding shippers, finding carriers, and managing loads from pickup through to delivery. That's why courses exist. They give you a structure. But here's the key. Not all freight broker courses are created equal. The first big mistake is buying based on price alone. Some people only want the cheapest course. Other people assume the most expensive course must be the best. Neither is always true. The cheap course is not always bad, and an expensive course is not always good. I promise you. The better question is, what am I actually getting? Does the course teach the full process? Does it explain how the business really works? Does it include templates and scripts and documents and examples and practical steps? Does it help me avoid common beginner mistakes? A cheap course that leaves you confused is really ultimately expensive. And a good course that gives you clarity can be one of the best investments you can make. So don't just ask, how much does it cost? Ask, what problem does this course solve for me? The second mistake is buying the wrong course for your stage. This is important because startup courses and sales courses are not always the same thing. If you're brand new, you probably need help understanding the industry, getting licensed, setting up your business, learning the paperwork, and understanding how the operation actually works. But if you already have your authority and you can't get customers, your real problem is probably not startup. Your real problem is sales. You need help prospecting, talking to shippers, following up, handling objections, and building a sales pipeline. And if you're not sure whether you should become a freight broker or freight agent, that's another decision altogether. A broker is building their own company. An agent usually works under an existing brokerage and earns a high commission. Neither path is automatically right or wrong, but you need to know what you're trying to accomplish before you buy training. So ask yourself, am I trying to get licensed? Am I trying to understand the business? Am I trying to find shippers? Am I trying to become a freight agent? Or am I trying to grow something I already started? The right course depends on where you are right now. Don't buy advanced sales training if you don't understand the basics yet. And don't buy beginner training if your real problem is that you need customers. The third mistake is thinking the course will do the work for you. A course can give you the roadmap. It can give you the structure. It can help you avoid mistakes. It can save you time. But no course can make calls for you. No course can build relationships for you. No course can make shippers trust you. And no course can guarantee that customers are going to hand you freight. You still have to execute. You still have to prospect. You still have to follow up. You still have to learn the business. A freight broker course is not a magic button. It's a roadmap. You still have to drive. So before you buy any course, ask yourself, am I actually willing to do the work? If the answer is yes, training can help you move faster. If the answer is no, the course probably won't matter. Now, let's talk about what a good freight broker course should include. At a minimum level, a solid beginner course should explain licensing and authority. It should explain the bond or trust requirement. It should explain business setup, documents you need, and it should also explain broker carrier agreements, shipper agreements, rate confirmations, carrier setup packets. It should explain how to find and qualify carriers. It should explain how to quote freight, post loads, track loads, manage the basic operations from quote through to delivery. And it should give you at least a basic understanding of how to find shippers. Because getting licensed is only the beginning. If a course only teaches you how to get your authority, but doesn't teach you how the business actually works, that's a problem. Getting your authority doesn't make you money. Getting customers makes you money. Moving freight profitably makes you money. Building relationships with shippers and carriers makes you money. So make sure the course teaches you more than just paperwork. The biggest thing beginners overlook is sales. A lot of new brokers spend way too much time worrying about things that don't actually create revenue. They spend too much time on their logo, and they obsess over their website, and they worry about business cards, and they shop for software before they have customers. Then they finally get their authority and realize something very important. Now they need shippers. And that's where a lot of people freeze up. Because getting licensed is not the hardest part. Getting customers is where most people struggle. You don't get paid because you have an authority. You get paid because a shipper trusts you with their freight. So before you buy a course, make sure it prepares you for the sales side of the business. Even if it's a beginner course, it should help you understand how shippers think, what they care about, and how to start building relationships. Without shippers, you don't have a freight brokerage. You just have a freight broker authority. Now let's talk about some red flags. Be careful if someone is promising you guaranteed loads. Be careful if someone is promising you guaranteed shippers. Be careful if someone says you can make huge money with almost no effort. Be careful if someone tells you there is no selling required. And be careful if someone makes freight brokerage sound like instant success. And be careful if someone says they have a secret shipper list that will solve all your problems. A list can be helpful, but a list alone doesn't build your business. You still need to know how to contact those shippers, what to say, how to follow up, and how to build trust. Freight brokerage is a real opportunity, but it's not easy money. If someone tells you freight brokerage is easy money, they're probably selling you the dream, not the business. Now let's talk about some green flags. A good course should be clear and practical and realistic and based on real-world experience. Look for step-by-step structure. Look for templates and documents. Look for real examples. Look for training on both operations and sales. Look for things like support options and updated material. Look for proof that the instructor has real life experience and success built their own freight brokerage. And look for realistic expectations. A good instructor should not just hype you up. They should prepare you. They should show you the opportunity, but also explain the work required. The best course is not the one with the most hype. It's the one that gives you the clearest path forward. Another thing you need to look at before buying a freight broker training or online course is the person who created it. Who are they? Have they actually built a successful freight brokerage? Have they moved real freight? Have they dealt with real shippers, real carriers, and real problems? And real money. How many student success stories do they have helping others build a 7 or 8 figure business? Or are they just teaching theory? Because there's a big difference between someone who learned freight brokerage from the outside and someone who has actually done it. Now that doesn't mean the instructor has to be famous, and it doesn't mean they need to have the flashiest website or the biggest social media following. But you should be able to see some kind of track record, some real experience, some real student results, some real testimonials, and real hands-on industry knowledge. And a teaching style that makes things clear for you. Because when you buy a course, you're not just buying the videos, you're buying the creator's experience, their judgment, their shortcuts, their mistakes, and the overall process. So before you buy, ask yourself, do I trust this person to guide me? Have they done what they're teaching? And can they explain it in a way that helps a beginner actually take action? If the answer is yes, that's a good sign. And if the answer is no, or you cannot tell, slow down before you buy. Now, can you figure out the business on your own? Yes, you can. You can watch YouTube videos and read articles, listen to podcasts, join groups, and search online. But free information is usually scattered. It's often out of order, and some of it's outdated. And when you're new, you don't always know what matters and what doesn't. So you can spend months learning random pieces of business advice and still not have a clear plan. This is the value of a good training program. It gives you structure. It helps you understand what to do first, second, third, and fourth. Free information can absolutely help, but free information is not always free if it costs you 6 months of confusion. So here's my honest advice before you buy any freight broker training course. First, make sure you're serious. If you're just curious, keep learning for free. Watch videos, ask questions, get familiar with the industry. You don't need to buy anything just because you're curious. Second, know your stage. Are you brand new? Are you trying to just become licensed? Are you thinking about becoming an agent? Are you already licensed but struggling to get customers? Your stage matters. Third, make sure you trust the person teaching the course. Do they have real experience? Do they explain things clearly? Do they give practical advice? And do they set realistic expectations? And fourth, make sure the course matches your goals. Do not buy a course based on hype. Don't buy it based on pressure. And don't buy just because it's cheap. And don't buy just because someone promises big money. Buy because the course solves the problem you actually have. Now, before we go, I have a question for you. What's your biggest concern before investing in a freight broker training? Is it cost? Is it getting licensed? Is it finding shippers? Is it choosing between becoming a broker or an agent? Or just knowing whether the business is right for you? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you want help getting started, check out the free resource I have linked below this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.